She's parked right there. Intro. Let's go.
Oh, we have on camera Reggie Fils-Aimé!
Obi-Wan plays.
That's right. What's up? All right.
Obi-Wan plays.
What is going on, everybody? How are y'all doing? I see y'all coming into the chat.
Thanks for liking the slide.
That's right. Y'all heard Priyal. She said make sure you like and subscribe. Lake Show, Infamous, Kibo, Pyro. What's up to everybody coming into the chat? Let me go to the actual YouTube live. Hold on. We coming right now. We gotta have that default on. All right, we here. Let me get to the actual video. We're live. What's up, Bowsette, Neil, Tony? What's up to everybody coming into the streams with a plural S? That's right, because we are live everywhere. And we have some dope Switch 2 news to talk about today. All right. What's up? I see y'all in the chat. Give the stream a thumbs up. I need everybody coming into the stream to like. Where's that like at? Give the stream a big thumbs up. We will be giving away a Switch 2 console to a lucky subscriber. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We are going to be giving a Switch 2 console. And tonight with the sponsors, we will be playing Super Smash Brothers. So we're going to be playing some Smash Brothers with the sponsors. That's going to be lit. We got a lot to cover. I'm lagging. Somebody says that I'm lagging. Somebody let me know if I'm lagging or not. On my end, I'm not lagging. Smash Brothers. You need to check your internet, bro. You lagging, Dark Knight. What's up, everybody? All right. I saw this graph of the Switch 1 launch lineup. And we know the Switch 2 lineup. We have to compare which system is going to have the better launch lineup. Switch 1 or Switch 2. Neil said he wants to win that Switch 2. Make sure you subscribe, bro. Then you good. All right. Check this out. Shout out to the homie Kaleem. He posted this in our Discord. This is the launch lineup for the OG Switch back in 2017. All right, we're at 11 likes. What's up, everybody? I need 10 more people. Give that stream a thumbs up. Let's crush it. Let's get it to 20 likes real quick. These are just the first party games. We're going to fill in with everything. But these were the first party games for the Switch. At launch, when the system was available, we had 3 first party titles. Breath of the Wild, which was huge. 1-2 Switch, which should have been a pack-in game, bro. If we keeping it a buck, 1-2 Switch should have been free with the Switch 1. Hold on, let me just see something, make sure I'm... Oh yeah, I did. I checked on my wife's thing last time I was live. 1-2 Switch should have been a pack-in game. I still bought it. How much was 1-2 Switch at launch? But I still bought it. I believe the Switch 2 will have the better lineup. And I'm hoping, because we want every console to do better than the predecessor. Its predecessor. So I want the Switch 2 lineup to be better. But that Switch launch year, that Switch launch lineup set a high bar, bro. I think a lot of people have forgotten how high that bar was set with the Switch lineup. At launch, This is at launch. We had Zelda Breath of the Wild. Can't underscore how huge, how incredibly huge that game was. 1-2 Switch. Should have been a packing title. Y'all remember Snipper Clips? I had that too. I bought all 3 first party games at launch. And then in April, you notice what Nintendo did. They didn't have 2 big titles at launch because it was probably about 50. That makes it around right. It seems about right. Because Nintendo knew if we had Zelda and Mario Kart at launch in April, it would have divided their sales. And this is what a lot of people have to think about. A lot of people want bam, 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 a whole bunch of big games at launch. No, Nintendo understands its consumers that they have a limited amount of money and they're going to choose what they're buying at launch versus next month and so forth. And so I think it was Samus Hunter who posted on Twitter once that Nintendo's going to pace out the launch year. And I think that's the best route to go. Let's look at this. So that was March. In April, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is still selling good even to this day, bro. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still selling real good. May, quiet month. Quiet month for first party developers. For the first party studios. But we're going to see that there's still games coming out, and this is where prime time for third party developers to eat, all in May. And then June, ARMS. Notice again, Nintendo did not have a major games in the same month except for October. October was a little crazy. But even no, they didn't in any of the month, because that's Fire Emblem Warriors. That's not even the mainline Fire Emblem game. So notice what Nintendo did. They did not have any big first party games from their studio 2 in the same month. It was always just 1 per month. Pay attention. Pay attention for what's going to be done for the Switch 2 launch. A lot of people saying Mario Kart and Metroid at launch. I doubt that's going to happen. One is going to be 1 month. One is going to be another month. June, ARMS. ARMS was still lit, bro. I'm down to still throw some ARMS if any sponsors want to play ARMS. Now, we're playing Smash tonight. But ARMS in June. In July, Splatoon 2. That's crazy. So we had Breath of the Wild, Zelda, Mario Kart, ARMS, and Splatoon in the first 4 months. I think we forget how crazy that year was. Flip Wars, I don't even remember that game. Flip Wars are August. September, Pokken Tournament. Dope game. I like the game, but it was a port from the Wii U. Then October, we had an all-new 3D Mario game. Super Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey. And then Fire Emblem Warriors. This isn't the mainline Fire Emblem. This is just Fire Emblem Warriors. It's funny how I enjoy Splatoon more than COD. Yeah, same here. And then to round out the year in December, we had Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in December. Now, those are all big games.
Oh,
Dre,
yeah.
Murph, 313 just became a member of the OGC. Hey, Vars. Hey, Dre, appreciate you becoming a sponsor, my guy. in your link your YouTube. You came a sponsor through YouTube. Somebody type Dre in the chat. Show my guy some love. Link your YouTube membership to your Discord account. Get into our gaming Discord, our Nintendo Switch gaming Discord. I'm gonna add you on the Switch. We hang out. We game. We have a good time in our Discord. So welcome to the OGC Dre. Who's typing Dre in the chat? Show my guy some love. Strange type Dre. Neil is typing Dre. Show my guy Dre some love. Welcome. Let me type welcome Dre. Appreciate it, bro. Welcome, Dre, to the OGC. If you have Smash Dre, we're going to be on Super Smash Brothers tonight, bro, if you want to play with us. All right. So, as you can see, this first year, just from a first-party perspective, crazy for Nintendo. Now, let's look at this filling in some of the third-party offerings. All right, so this is the launch day, an actual launch day. We have those games, and look at the third-party offerings. These are what I consider lesser third-party games. Why? We have to remember what was going on at this time. The Wii U had just flopped. You think Wii games are coming to Switch 2? I think eventually, Luke. What's up, bro? I think eventually they will be. I think they will be eventually. Bro, y'all got to think, when the Switch launched, third-party developers were not trying to support Nintendo. Why? The Wii U had failed. And so Nintendo put a bad taste in a lot of developers' mouth, and it shows with, look at the games that came out to fill out the first party lineup. Bro, the first year of the Switch, Nintendo carried the system all by themselves. We had a couple of cool third party games, and not everything is listed. This was from a Nintendo advertisement. But as you can see, for the most part, Nintendo carried the first party games all by themselves. Look at Bomberman R. The next month, Snipper Clips. You had Fast RMX, dope game. Don't sleep on that. But you had Mario Kart in April. And during the spring, look at that. You had ARMS, really. Nothing else. I remember Rhyme. Summer, Splatoon. And there were other third-party games not listed here, but nothing major, crazy. You had Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Skyrim. That's why I think Elden Ring can happen for the Switch 2. Holiday is when things started to pick up a little bit more. You had FIFA from EA, Sonic Mania, I Am Setsuna, dope RPG, NBA 2K, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. I remember I bought that. I remember I had Ultra Street Fighter 2. I had all those games. But Mario Odyssey. As you can see, the first year of the Switch, Nintendo pretty much carried the system on their back by themselves. Now, can Nintendo outdo the first year of the Switch with the Switch 2? And I actually say yes. I think the first year of the Switch 2 is going to be even better than the Switch. Why? I think on the first party front, it's going to be about even. Why? Launched with Zelda for the Switch. More than likely, the Switch 2 is going to launch with Mario Kart 9. And this is why I think this is Zelda and Mario Kart 9. Actually, Mario Kart 9 is a little better. Not better as far as a game, because I think Zelda, I like Zelda. But as far as sales, nothing's going to compete with Mario Kart 9 on the Switch 2 in sales. This, I mark my words, this is going to be the all-time best-selling game on the Switch 2. After 8 years, when it's all said and done, Mario Kart 9 is going to have about 70 million sold. It's going to be the best-selling game on the Switch 2. That I even think we might have some PS5 games for the Switch 2. You never know, John from X. But bro, Mario Kart 9, an all-new Mario game. We have to remember, we didn't get an all-new Mario Kart for the Switch. We really skipped the Mario Kart this generation. What's up, everybody coming into the stream? We're at 27 likes. 13 people give the stream a thumbs up. Let's crush 40 likes right now. Everyone coming in, give the stream a like. Give it a like. Give it a like. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Phenomenal game. My personal favorite Mario Kart game of all time. But it was a Wii U port. I can't emphasize how important it's going to be that Nintendo's launching with an all-new Mario Kart game. Either right at launch or in the launch window. This is what I'm thinking. I don't even think Mario Kart's going to be at launch. Look at what they did with the Switch. Mario Kart came the second month. This is what I think Nintendo really should do. Launch as a launch title, Metroid Prime 4. Obi-Wan, that makes no sense. Why are they going to launch with Metroid Prime 4? Metroid Prime 4 doesn't sell as good as Mario Kart. Wah. Y'all already know what y'all going to say. Nintendo's a business. They know Mario Kart's going to be good. Whenever it comes out, they're going to rake in the cash. I say this. If Mario Kart launches before Metroid, I think it's going to severely eat into Metroid sales. And Nintendo wants this game to sell. How are you going to get... Because Metroid doesn't sell as good as Mario Kart. How are you going to get Metroid Prime 4 to sell good? When people are going into the stores to pick up their Switch 2 consoles, have this game available. Why? It's going to boost the sales of this game. One, there will be no other games, no other first-party games from Nintendo at launch to compete against this game, so that Metroid can get some shine. And I think this game is going to graphically showcase some of the capabilities of the Switch 2. What we're seeing right here is probably the Switch version of this game. And Digital Foundry did an analysis and they said, yeah, this is more than likely running on the current Switch. I think on the Switch 2, we're going to have a higher resolution, and we'll probably have a little bit more graphical flair, probably some fog and some whatever the technical terms for more graphically intense capabilities on the Switch 2. This is going to look worlds apart. No, the game for the most part will look similar because they're still going to have to use the baseline Switch engine, so the game runs on the Switch as well. But I think this is going to launch as a cross-gen game for Nintendo. And this might even, Metroid Prime might serve as a sort of experiment for Nintendo, where Nintendo's going to see, let's launch this cross-gen and see how the sales fare. If this does blockbusters, like a whole bunch of sales on the current Switch, and still does good on the Switch 2, Nintendo might be tempted to have Mario Kart also go as a cross-gen title, even though I think that'll be a bad move. But at launch, Metroid Prime 4. And then the next month, have Mario Kart 9 launch. And so let's just compare the first 2 months. Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe versus Metroid Prime 4 and Mario Kart 9. Oli, what's up, bro? We're going to be on Smash later tonight if you want to play. I have to say, and I know this is controversial, but just comparing those two games on both systems, the Switch 2 has the edge. Just the fact that Metroid is an all-new game and Mario Kart 9 is an all-new game. Zelda Breath of the Wild at the time was an all-new game, but Mario Kart 8 was a port of the Wii U. So I think even from there, the Switch 2 has an edge. Has an edge with the launch lineup. Next, so just comparing just those two, I give the edge to the Switch 2. Next, let's look at June. June, we have ARMS and we have Splatoon 2. Two more first-party IPs. There are room, and this is where, remember, ARMS was a surprise. We saw this from nowhere. I think ARMS and Splatoon 2 was a surprise at the presentation. And so this is where there's a big question mark for the Direct in April. I think we're going to get two surprise first-party games at the April presentation. Just look at what Nintendo did for the Switch. It gives us clues on what they might do for the Switch 2. We had two surprise releases, Splatoon 2 and ARMS. And Splatoon 2 was a surprise in that I felt it was pretty soon to have Splatoon 2. Let's put up a Splatoon 2 trailer. Splatoon 2 trailer. I felt like it was pretty soon to have Splatoon 2 on the system, but we had Splatoon 2 and ARMS. I think during the April Direct, we're gonna get two surprises from Nintendo from a first party front. One title where we're like, whoa, and another title we're like, because that's what Splatoon and ARMS was. So for Splatoon 2, we're like, whoa, another Splatoon game because Splatoon is dope. And then for ARMS, we're like, because we're like, we got to try this out for ourselves. It's new IP, Nintendo's experimenting, and I think that's what Nintendo's going to do. There's been rumors of Star Fox Adventure. There's going to be not a remake, an all-new Star Fox game. An all-new Star Fox game coming to the Switch 2. And that's going to be pretty dope. That's going to be major, actually. We get an all-new Star Fox game. So that's a question mark right there. Let's keep going. Then we had Pokken Tournament, which is a remake, a port. I think we're going to get a port. I can imagine what Panic Button can do with the Switch 2 part. Yeah, Panic Button. They work magic on the Switch, bro. A lot of people never played Splatoon 1 on the Wii U. Yeah. And so Splatoon 2 is a welcome surprise. We had a port, and I think we're going to get a port of Pokemon. Well, let's just say Pokemon. The Pokemon game during the first year of the Switch 1 was Pokken Tournament. Dope game. I like Pokken Tournament. I'll play it right now. But on the Switch 2, we're already confirmed an all-new Pokemon game. Pokemon Legends AZ. So if you put a port of Pokken Tournament versus an all-new Pokemon Legends AZ, I have to give it to Pokemon Legends AZ. So once again, we see where the Switch 2 is edging out the Switch 1 again. In October, Mario Odyssey. An all-new Mario game, heavily rumored for the Switch 2, we're going to be getting an all new Mario game. So that's going to be a tie. That's going to be, you never played Pokken Greninja? Dope fighting game. It's a dope fighting game. That's where it's going to be a tie. And we also had a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in December. So that's where we have to see what is Nintendo going to announce at the Direct. Are we going to get a massive RPG type game in December? So just comparing the Switch 2 launch lineup with everything that's been leaked and rumored coming to the Switch 2, just from the first party. We ain't even talking about third party right now. From a first party front, the Switch 2 edges out the Switch just by a little bit. Because the Switch first party was crazy. But when we think about Metroid Prime 4, an all new Mario, I can't emphasize that enough, an all new Mario Kart, not a port. That's big. An all new Pokemon game. That's big. Mario, 3D Mario, they're gonna even each other out. And so Pokken was absolute true. Dre, Pokken was dope, bro. Pokken was dope. And so that's where it sort of evens out. Now, this is just first party, and I give the slight edge to the Switch 2. Now, when we look at third party, this is where I think the Switch 2 is going to be miles. It's not even going to be close. On the third party front, the Switch 2, mark my words, is going to be leaps and bounds ahead of what was offered on the Switch. Just because of where Nintendo is between each generation. Between the Wii U to the Switch, Nintendo was struggling real bad. Kless the Angel, what's up, bro? Hope you're doing good. Use all the resources the Switch 2 has and not release a low performance game. Yeah, Kless. Now, are we going to see the true power of the Switch 2 in Pokemon Legends AZ? No, because that game is going to be a cross-gen game. It's coming to the current Switch. The next all-new Pokemon game, designed from the floor up for the Switch 2, it better be way better than what we were offered on the Switch. So coming from the Wii U to the Switch, Nintendo was struggling, bro. They were struggling. Third-party developers were hesitant. They were taking a wait-and-see approach. They were waiting for Nintendo to really boost the sales of the system. And so as you can see, the third-party lineup for the Switch's first year, I have to say C-, D+, bro. The launch year of the Switch. Switch 2 is going to be crazy. It's going to possibly be an A+ third-party year for the Switch 2. Based on leaks that we've seen have been spot on. Square Enix bringing some bangers. Final Fantasy 7 rumored to be coming the launch year. Elden Ring rumored to be coming the launch year. Doc Alex just subscribed. You just got in the running for a Switch 2 console giveaway. Bro, rumored to be coming the first year. Elden Ring. A couple of other games. Capcom is said to be supporting the Switch 2 first year with good games. What Phil Spencer just said, Microsoft says that Xbox, Phil Spencer said that they will be bringing their games, and that's a direct quote. He says, we will be bringing our games to the Switch 2. That developer direct, just imagine if Nintendo, and this is where we have to think hypothetical, we don't know for sure, but if Nintendo gets Expedition 33, Doom Dark Ages, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, South of Midnight, if we get those games too, Halo Master Chief Collection, rumored to be coming, the third-party support is what's going to vastly separate Switch 1 from Switch 2 its first year. Have you heard the rumor about Smash Brothers coming to Switch 2? I didn't hear any rumors, but I've heard people talking about it. I think I don't think. Smash is definitely coming to the Switch 2. It's just a matter of when. It's not if, it's when. Do I think Smash is coming as the first year? No. I think Nintendo need to pace out its bangers. Like Mario Kart, carrying it its first year. Smash, probably year 2 or 3. Year 2 or 3, hit us with a Super Smash Brothers. And just continue to add on Smash. Like just have like 8 characters at launch. And then we know Nintendo's just going to keep adding characters like they always do. But even on the... All right, so just to recap. On the first party front, I still give it to the Switch 2. When we consider the third party, what's rumored to be coming, I think the third party lineup is going to be way better than the Switch's first year. And so, which launch lineup will be better? I have to give it to the Switch 2. My daughter's crying. My wife's there somewhere, so I don't know what's going on behind me. All right, bro. But that's not it. We have more news you can use. Interesting information coming out about Mario Kart 9. Y'all remember in the Mario Kart 9 trailer, let me go to it. If you notice, wait, let me see if they show it right here. Eagle Eye fans have spotted right here on the side of Mario's cart. This is a gas tank where you can possibly refuel. It's being, I don't want to say rumored, but I've seen it in multiple people discussing it, that there's going to be the possibility, and I don't think it's by mistake, they showed a gas station during the trailer. He has a huge gas tank on the side, gas tank in the trailer, and a pit stop has been pointed out in the trailer. It's being said, fans are saying that Mario Kart 9 could include some new mechanics never before seen in a Mario Kart game, which includes stopping to get gas and changing the tires on your vehicle. Now, in Mario Kart 8 on the Switch, you can customize your kart. You can change your tires. You can change the weight of the car. What is it called? The glider that also determines the weight and speed and acceleration of the car. What if you can do this now mid-race? Where you're racing and you're like, no, these tires aren't really working for me. You can pit stop, and change your tires. One, this is going to have to mean the races are going to have to be much longer to make it worth doing a pit stop. Two, the pit stops have to be super quick. It isn't like your usual race where you stop and you're there for like 10 seconds waiting for them to change. No, it has to be almost like 1 or 2 seconds the most. Like you stop, boom, boom, and you just change the tire and you keep going. Like they do it real quick. It's going to be fairly quick. I think that could be a possibility in Mario Kart 9. Now, as far as gas, I don't think they're going to have it to where the gas is mandatory, where if you don't stop and get gas, your kart just stops and you're eliminated from the race. That would be no fun at all. I think, mark my words, I think there's going to be some kind of, y'all remember in Excitebike on the NES, where if you held down one of the buttons, I think it was B, and you had turbo and you could go even faster. I think that's what that fuel is going to be, like some kind of nitro tank that gives you extra speed. And so there's going to be some strategy involved. You can either don't do the pit stop and just keep racing, or you do the pit stop. It may slow you down in the race, but in the long run, you'll now have nitro speed, and you can catch up and even pass those who chose not to use the pit stop. And so that's what I think the new mechanic in Mario Kart 9 could be, but it's being talked about that there's going to be new mechanics in Mario Kart 9. Specifically, I'm going to share an article from thegamer.com, and it says Mario Kart 9's first trailer has fans speculating about a new gas mechanic. What's up to everybody coming into the stream? 11 people give the stream a thumbs up. Let's get it to 50 likes right now. What's up to everybody in the chat? Mario Kart 9 first trailer has fans speculating about a new gas mechanic. The very brief glimpse the Nintendo Switch 2's reveal gave us of the next Mario Kart game has fans convinced it could be introducing a new gas and turbo mechanic. I'm sort of convinced too. I'm in that camp. I don't think it's by mistake we see that big gas tank on the side of Mario's Kart, and there's a place where you can, there's a gas station on the track. After much speculation, Nintendo finally did what we've all been waiting for, unveil the Switch 2. Although the reveal wasn't as exciting as some fans were hoping, there was at least one main attraction. I am, of course, talking about the glimpse we got at a brand new Mario Kart, which is surely just going to be titled Mario Kart 9. We sadly didn't see too much of it, but what we did see was enough to know that Nintendo is going all in with the next mainline game, including up to 24 players and maps that look much bigger. That is one thing you can easily see in the track, that the track just looks much bigger, and 24 players racing at one time is going to be crazy. All right. Mario Kart fans think the next game is focusing on gas pickups. This is from, still in the article, they're quoting someone from X. Haven't seen anyone talk about this, but the gimmick of Mario Kart 9 is definitely a fuel tank. Karts have conspicuous fuel tanks now, and there's something on this track that doesn't look like an item box. It'll be a resource you can use freely to boost. That's right, under that Yoshi gas tank type place, there was an item box that looked interesting. While the addition of 12 more players and larger spaces to drive around in is already a big change compared to Mario Kart 8, fans are speculating that there's at least one more twist in store for Mario Kart 9. One of the most popular theories out there right now was started by Twitter user Paperberry, which suggests that the big gimmick in Mario Kart 9 is definitely a fuel tank. And I think it's obvious because they show that big tank on the side of Mario's Kart. They also pointed out that all of the karts now have a very obvious full tank like they've never had before, and then suggest that the item on the track doesn't look anything like we've seen before. Could be a resource that's used to fuel up the karts so that the driver can freely boost around. Considering it's located quite literally at a pit stop, it's a theory that makes sense. Combine that with maps that are clearly designed to be a bit more open and feature more players, and the idea that Mario Kart 9 will put more emphasis and focus on using turbo is an interesting one. We'll have to wait to see, but I just found this interesting that this could be a new mechanic in Mario Kart 9. And I think this is going to be probably the best Mario Kart game we've ever played, bro. Just looking at the just the tidbits, the facial animations of Mario when he jumped, a lot of details that were picked up by Digital Foundry and so forth, showing that Nintendo's putting a lot more effort in this game. This could be the greatest Mario Kart of all time. 24 racers. They're doubling the racing size. This is going to be epic. This is going to be crazy. I took a pic of the QR code from Best Buy. I'll inbox it to you on Discord. What is this? For pre-orders info, the Best Buy is doing pre-orders. Interesting, thugs. I like to see that ASAP. What's up, bro? All right. This next news item, little controversial, but I saw the writing on the wall, and the writing on the wall is still coming. U.S. physical game spending has significantly dropped since 2021. Box game spending, physical purchases, is down by more than 85% since its peak in 2008, according to brand new data. Physical spending is down by 85%. So that would mean digital spending is up by 85%. Bro, we are in a digital age. I know y'all hate to admit it, but more and more gamers are just buying their games digitally from their systems. And mark my words, we're going to get an all digital Switch 2. Might not be at launch. I think at launch, Nintendo's not going to want to confuse gamers. But I believe eventually we're going to get an all digital Switch 2. We might have one more generation of physical cartridges, but I think everybody's going the all digital route. I think that's just where it's going to be. There might be a cartridge add-on where you can, I just got an epiphany. Y'all see where that USB-C slot is at the top of the Switch 2? This is what Nintendo's going to do. They're going to do the same thing Sony did. At launch, there's going to be an all physical console, all cartridge. We can get your cartridges. Somewhere during this generation, Nintendo is going to have only an all digital Switch 2 available. That USB-C at the top, it's going to be some kind of add-on where if you still want to purchase cartridges, you'll be able to use that USB-C add-on, and it's going to have a slot where you can still put cartridges in as an option. And they're going to sell that as an option just to transition us into an all digital age. That's what Sony's done. From now on, y'all have to see what Sony just did. And a lot of people have missed this. Sony has just gone all digital right in front of our eyes. And they eased their way into it. You can only buy all digital PlayStation 5s now. Physical PS5s are no longer for sale. You have to purchase an add-on to play physical cartridges. And you know what? Nobody's complaining about it because it's optional. Nintendo's going to do the same thing. At launch, cartridge. Get your cartridges. What's up, everybody? We're at 44 likes. 6 people give the stream a thumbs up. Let's get the stream over 50 likes. Then, with that USB-C, because you could add any kind of peripheral with that USB-C slot at the top. Yeah, they're going to add a camera. That's not going to be the only thing. But we're going to get an all-digital console, mark my words, with some kind of cartridge slot attachment that you can add to your Switch 2 as an option. That way, Nintendo's just gone all digital for us. These console manufacturers, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, they all want you to go all digital. There's an all digital Xbox Series X too, the white one. They all want you to go all digital because they get more of the profits. They don't have to share the profits with Walmart, GameStop. The writing's on the wall. Lake Show, I know you're in denial. but the data shows it. Look at this. This is physical video game sales in the US. An 85% decline on physical game spending in the US. Look, physical spending peaked in 2008, and then since then, less and less people are buying physical games. You know what this means? Why include a disk drive which costs probably $50 more per console to make? Why include a cartridge slot which probably costs $30 per console more to make when no one is using it? They're not forcing it on us. Y'all, the consumers, y'all are telling them. Y'all are telling PlayStation, we don't need a disc slot. Y'all are telling Nintendo, we don't need a cartridge slot. If only 2 people are still buying physical games, they're not going to see the worth, the value in creating a cartridge slot for y'all to buy physical games. Because even when you buy physical cartridges, I know this happened on the Switch and on PlayStation and Xbox, you still got to download the content once you put the game in. For some games, there are games, I know for 2K, if the game data was more than what the cartridge slot allowed, let's say the game was on a 32 gigabyte cartridge, but the game was 42 gigabytes, you still have to put in the cartridge and download the game. PlayStation and Xbox, y'all know it. You bought it, your disc, you put it in, and you still had to download the game. So you were just doing an extra step going to the store. You still had to digitally download the game. So you still were buying a digital game, but you, in your mind, they tricked you into going to the store and buying a physical copy, because you still have to digitally download the game. Makes no sense. That's why I'm telling y'all, I'm not even going to say another. This is the last generation of physical, not a physical media, of physical consoles. We're still going to have physical media another generation, but physical media, as far as disc drives, they're just going to be add-on peripherals now. They're not going to be standard on a PS5. It's already happened. Sony does not. Let me go to a PlayStation store. Let me go to the PlayStation store real quick. Let me just search buy a PS5. Let's see buy a PS5. Let's go to the official PlayStation store. Let's go to a PlayStation 5 store. And look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, let me go full screen for y'all. Full screen. Let me show y'all something. See, I don't think this is just, he's just making this up. Is this it? Yeah. Look at this, bro. Let me close that. Is this the full screen? Where is the window full screen? Look at this, bro. Look at this, bro. Shop a PS5 console. What do y'all see on the official PlayStation store? Is the PS5 Pro all digital? There is no physical slot in a PS5 Pro? Am I tripping? PS5 Pro, that looks like an all digital console. Am I tripping? Look at this. Look at this. Oh, wait. Model Group Slim. Look at this. Look at what you can buy on the PlayStation Store. All digital console. This is all digital, bro. The PlayStation 5 Pro. In the middle, you have the PlayStation 5 Digital. On the side, for $500, it's the PlayStation Console Model Group Slim. You know what Model Group Slim means? It means it comes with a physical card disc drive add-on. meaning it's still an all digital console, but it's just an add-on disk drive. PlayStation has gone all digital in front of our eyes. Mark my words. Nintendo is going to do the same thing. Nintendo's going to do the same thing. At launch, you're going to be able to, there's going to be a cartridge slot. Because if Nintendo said the Switch 2 is all digital, fan outcry, bad sales, bad press. Nintendo doesn't want bad press. So they have to have a physical cartridge at launch. Somewhere during this generation cycle, there's going to be an all digital Switch 2. That USB-C slot at the top. Y'all can say this right here. Obi-Wan is the first person to call it. That USB-C slot at the top is going to be for just one of the many uses. There are going to be multiple uses. There's going to be a camera, VR, whatever else Nintendo wants to do for it. But mark my words, there's going to be an all-digital Switch 2 and an option to add a cartridge slot. I don't think the cartridge slot is going to stick out on the back. It's going to at the top. It's going to be somehow on the back of the console like this. Watch. There's going to be something where you can connect the USB. It's going to clip on right here, and the actual cartridge slot is going to be somewhere along the back of the system. It'll look crazy to have it at the top, but it's going to be somewhere along the back of the system, and you can put the cartridge slot in on the back through the USB-C port. And that's going to be the standard Nintendo console going forward. From that point on, Nintendo's going to go all digital. It's going to be an all digital system and still an optional cartridge slot at the back for anyone who wants to buy it separately and still buy cartridges. And what they're doing is that's discouraging you from buying that additional peripheral, because a lot of people aren't going to buy that additional peripheral and just stick with an all digital console. And slowly Nintendo's going to be like, just like Sony's going to say, look at the data. The data is showing that consumers no longer buy all digital, no longer buy physical media. That's why we've gone the all digital route. Just look at the website. Sony only sells all digital consoles now. Look at the data. Look at this decline. Less and less people are buying all digital games. And you can imagine in 2025 it's going to be even smaller. 2026 even smaller. It's going to finally be to the point where these console manufacturers are going to be like, it's not worth the extra $50 per console, the extra $30 per console to have a disc slot, a cartridge slot. Am I lying? Am I lying? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Every console Xbox releases now no longer has a disc drive. Wow. So Xbox is doing the same thing Sony's doing. And I guarantee you, Nintendo is going to be doing the same thing. Trust me, Nintendo's going to be doing the same thing. We are entering an all digital age. Nintendo is the last of the three to still offer a physical slot built into their system. Xbox doesn't do it anymore. PlayStation doesn't do it anymore. Only Nintendo's doing it because they're launching a new system and they don't want bad press. But they're going to do the same thing. They're going to have an all digital Switch. Trust. When it happens, y'all better come back to my channel and say, Obi-Wan, you're the first person to say it. That USB-C slot is going to be for an optional cartridge slot. Watch. I see it. You can see it. It's obvious. That's what they're going to do. All right. So, what are y'all saying in the chat? Maybe we have coins to buy Gas Khalil. That would be crazy. He's saying in Mario Kart, You have to use your coins to buy gas. That would be insane. We're at 53 likes. I need 10 people to give the stream a thumbs up. Let's crush 63 likes right now. Do it. I didn't realize that every Xbox. Let's go to the Xbox website. I believe you, Clean. Buy Xbox Series X. Let's go to the Xbox website. We just went to the PlayStation website. Oh no, they still selling them on their official website. I don't know about in-store, but they have 3 on their website. They still have an option for a physical one. You see one physical or an all digital white one. So Xbox still is doing it. I don't know about in-store. Because Kaleem, you know what? The last time I went to Walmart, I only saw the white all digital one. I didn't see a physical black one in store. They have them in store too. Xbox made, but you notice they made an all digital one. And I think everybody's going to copy what PlayStation has done this generation. Have physical media as an add-on to your console. All right, y'all. What are we going to be doing for the rest of the night? I'm going to be, in about an hour or so, I'm going to be back on my gaming channel, my gaming YouTube channel, Obi-Wan Plays Gaming Championship. We're going to be playing some Super Smash Brothers. If any sponsors want to run some Smash, that's what we're going to be on. Probably in about an hour or so. All right, y'all. What do y'all think about everything we talked about in this stream? Switch 2 launch lineup is actually going to be even better than the Switch 1 launch lineup when we compare the games, and especially the biggest thing is going to be the third-party support. Third-party support's going to be crazy for the Switch 2. What do you guys think about everything we talked about? Sound off in the comment section below.
Make sure like and subscribe.
But before you go, bro, click that subscribe button.
Say,
Oh,
big,
yeah.
Obi-Wan plays.
Yes, right. What's up? All right.
Obi-Wan plays.